Hey, Nick.
Hey, Wyatt.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Why did the chicken cross the road?
To get to the idiot's house. Knock,
Uh,
knock.
who's there?
The chicken.
Da, 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 da.
We don't have it yet.
Hi, everybody. We're
Hi,
back.
Dr. Nick.
Hey, Wyatt. We're back once again with a new week of We Don't Have It Yet. We have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about since we've been away for a little longer than normal. I have a bunch of weekend movies that have been watched and need to be gone over. We have a bunch of news in the world of games and pinball, including Dungeon Crawler Carl's maker being revealed, Xbox is shaking things up in a bunch of ways once again, and we get on to Backlog Buster Brothers, finishing out our 1996 month of July, and so much more. Mr. Wyatt, how are ya? It sounds like you've been having yourself a pretty good weekend, sir.
I mean, since we last talked, I've done a lot of crap. I was just looking at my calendar, and because we recorded this podcast before I went camping up north, went and saw Weird Al last week, and went to a car show
Nice.
this past weekend. So apparently, I never think I do anything until I look back at my calendar and realize that I probably do too much.
I can tell you, as being the guy that's chatting to you while you're usually doing these things, that you do quite a bit, and you have a pretty kick-ass life. Well, I don't want to say kick-ass kidless life, but what can I say?
No, definitely.
How was
By
Weird Al,
design, my
man?
friend.
How
Dude,
was
he was
Weird Al? I know
awesome.
this was not your first time, and I'm so jealous because despite being a lifelong fan, ashamed to say I've never gone, never made the trek, and he's supposed to be one of the greatest live bands out there, pretty much.
He is, and I mean, you have to. The next time he's around, it seems like he's touring every year at this point. And if he hasn't been to Chicago yet, which I don't know if he's uh made it through, I'm assuming he's going to stop there on this tour.
I would have to imagine that it's on the list, yes.
You need to. He's going to be one of those people that eventually, when he is gone, if you don't see him, you're gonna regret it for
Really kick
the
myself.
rest of your life. Let me do a quick glance here. Illinois. Looks like he was in Highland Park on June 29th. So
Yeah.
you might have
Just
missed
missed it.
your chance on
Yeah.
this tour, and he's not coming back through it. So that sucks. But he tours pretty much every year. But man, I tell you what, this was my fourth or fifth time, I can't remember.
Wow.
It was at
Okay,
least my
cool.
fourth time that I've seen him. But he was a friggin' blast, dude.
Does he mix it up a lot, or is it? I mean, I have to imagine you're seeing a lot of the same beats. Like, okay, here comes the Star Wars segment. Here comes the white and nerdy segment. I know he's doing all these costume changes and stuff. So it's almost, is it a bit of a theater production as well?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's one of
Yeah.
the things. Like, the guy is going to be 66 years old, I believe. 66 or 67 in October.
Yeah, he looks about 5 years older than me.
Yeah, and the way that he frickin' moves, dude, like, you wouldn't believe he's that old. He can still kick his leg over his head. Like, like you said, he does play, the big hits. He plays his white and nerdy. I guess if you haven't seen him, I'm not going to give a spoiler alert, because it seems like every concert of his I've been to, he does the same encore. But, you'll go through the entire concert being like, oh man, I wish you'd played this. And then you hang around and it's like, oh my God, he played XYZ.
Care to be stupid.
That one is, I'm pretty sure he's played that every time we've been. And it's so good. And they dress up, with the power domes and they get all into it. And yeah, I mean, he did depending on what you want to count a costume change as, either like full costume or he's dressed in about 8 layers and rips off a layer to turn into a different costume. Like he changes his outfit probably about a dozen times during the show.
I guess you can fit a lot of costumes under those Jedi robes, huh?
Yeah. But actually, I stand corrected. I was looking at the wrong tour dates, and I'm not sure how far Peoria is from you, but he's going to Peoria in October.
I'll let you in on a secret. I don't know how far it is either because I don't know shit about where I live.
I mean, that's fair. But if it's somewhat close, then let me do a quick
I'm getting
glance
a handle
here.
on, it's been what 3.5, 4 years now.
Oh,
I'm
dude,
getting I'm
it's
getting a
nowhere
handle
close to
on
you.
Chicagoland and Chicago itself, but the rest of Illinois, that's still pretty much a gray area in my admittedly directionally inept brain.
Yeah, no, it's not as far as Springfield from you, but it's about halfway between you and Springfield. So it's a jaunt. I'm not sure
Yeah,
how far Springfield
it's a
is, but
reasonably big state, especially from a guy from Maryland, and I haven't seen that much of it to my own shame. So
well, to be fair, you have just about everything there in Chicago. So
it is. I mean, we did the trip last year, like up and down the coast with Michigan and Illinois and Wisconsin and everything. That was pretty cool. But as far as like once you go southwest, yeah, I haven't
yeah,
seen anything.
it's just a lot of land there. But anyway, to go back off of my putting myself on a tangent, the show itself was great. And actually, I said I wanted to do a different segment this week, and this guy doesn't have to be my chump of the week because he can't really help it in some ways. And even bringing this up, I'm sure, is opening myself up to
Oh
me
boy.
getting flamed for how I feel. But I feel like if you're over a certain size, you should have to either buy a second seat like you do on an airplane, or maybe there should be some like oversized seating at venues because it doesn't matter whatever concert I go to, and you can when you meet Caitlin, you can ask her, and she will tell you that this is the God's honest truth. No matter what concert we go to, no matter what seats I buy for us, I always end up either directly behind or directly next to probably the worst person you could be next to at a concert. And I had told her when we were heading to this concert, I'm like, you watch. I'm going to end up being sitting next to someone that I don't want to be sat next to, and it's going to annoy me for half the concert.
Or is this like in a pavilion type?
Yeah, a giant
setting?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, open air. First 3 sections are covered, and then you have your lawn seating in the back.
Yep.
And we got seats that were directly behind like the premium box seats. So I got those by design because there's no one walking in front of you, and generally the VIP seats, if you want to call them that, don't usually fill up. So I was banking on not having anyone directly in front of me, which paid off. There were no one in the 2 box seats in front of us. So we were dead center to the stage. I had a perfect view, no tall people in front of me. It was great.
I was going to say, somewhere there's a Wyatt complaining about every concert that I've gone to in my entire career. This tall bastard is always in front of me at every show that I go to.
Well, here's the thing. If someone's tall and is in front of me, I can move. Like, I can move my head. I can look around them. My problem with those people it tends to be they're also bobbing their head and moving back and forth and almost seem like they're race car blocking me so I can't get past them. And it's like, come on, man. Like, pick a lane.
Unless I'm trying to be in the mix, which I really haven't been in many years.
You're old.
Heavier shows, yeah. I recognize that I'm in other people's way when we're all looking up at the same thing, or sometimes I'm looking straight. So I'll sidle up against like the steel beam no one wants to be around in the club because I can still see. It doesn't bother me.
And like, again, like you can't help that you're tall.
Yeah, not a lot I can do.
Right. And the person next to me, for the most part, probably couldn't help that they looked like they were dressed in Weird Al's costume for the video Fat. And like nothing against larger people. Literally, like I get it, but this dude, I swear to you, took up his entire seat and about 50% of my seat. And not that he could try to make himself small, but he wasn't trying to like be like, oh man, I'm definitely taking up more space than what I paid for. So this guy, like, I was almost sitting on top of Caitlin for the entire show because I couldn't. Yeah. And not only that, but this dude either doesn't care to or doesn't know how to bathe. And it was like sour milk and
ripe.
Yes, very. God. And it was hot out. So, and my buddy Greg was sitting a couple seats over, and he, like, I was like, I'm not going to talk about this now. The guy's sitting right here. I'm not going to talk. Like, I'm just going to be kind of annoyed, and I'm going to try to breathe through my mouth and just taste him, I guess, instead of smell him.
Isn't that why they usually put out like folding chairs in the handicap seating area, to be fair?
Yeah, but you have to buy those seats to utilize them.
Yeah, and then of course nobody that works there wants to be the one to say anything because then they get
Exactly.
accused of blah, 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 and
And I'm not going to say anything to him
we've reached an
or an
impossible
usher.
situation. Yep.
Exactly. So like I said, even me talking about this now is opening me up to be like, well, that's just
No,
that's ableist.
We're living in a society.
Right. So I mean, I made the best of it, but at the end of the show, these people got up and walked in front of us because they left before the encore, and I'm like, I paid for this show, I paid for Weird Al, I'm staying until the lights go on. And they walk by, and my buddy Greg turns to me, he's like, oh my god, he's like, I just got the biggest whiff of like, this is terrible. And I'm like, dude, this is what I smelled the
it's
entire
that choking
night.
kind of ripe. Yeah. Oh,
and like I said, outdoor venue too. And it just lingered.
To be fair, the walk from the parking lot to the pavilion might have been the most action he'd seen in months.
It's fair. And again, if people want to, give me crap for feeling the way I feel, but like I said, like I understand, like he's larger and it happens, but like at some point you need to there is handicap accessible seating, which was actually better seats than where we were.
Like, yeah, you're not paying more for those seats generally, so you kind of get the hookup and get your own little.
You get a bar. It's a tabletop right in front, or like a counter right in front of you, and there's no one in front of you.
I hate it, just like at ball games and stuff, and my wife will attest to this. I'm like, get aisle seats if you can, and I'll sit on the end because nobody wants my knees next to them. Nobody. It's just it's at some point it's not man spreading. I physically have nowhere else to go. Yeah.
But anyway, like that's my little rant on that. I don't want to make that guy my chump of the week or anything. That was just something that was kind of rubbing me the wrong way during the concert. But the concert itself, it was fantastic, dude. Like I said, it was my 4th or 5th time seeing him. He played some hits. Well, he played all of his stuff are hits. Let's be honest.
I mean, his band are basically like, going back to our Yacht Rock episode, another Toto is how they're regarded. Yep. They're just that technically proficient with any type of music.
Yeah, and there was a woman that was playing sax because he had, a lot of saxophone in his songs. And, you were getting her on camera sometimes because obviously, you're filming the stage too, so you can look at the monitors and see stuff. And I'm looking at her,
for the lawn folks.
Yeah, I'm like, she looks so familiar. And my buddy Greg, him and I go to a lot of concerts together, and he goes, is that Sheila? And that means nothing to you. But Sheila is one of the musicians that plays in Dweezil Zappa's touring band as well.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, that really does look like her. But I'm like, there's no, that's so weird. I mean, again, like these traveling musicians, they're good at their job. They get hired by different bands to, travel and play. But I'm like, that's just such a weird intersection. And then at the end, Weird Al's introducing the band and he introduces Sheila Gonzalez. I'm like, holy crap, it was her. Like, she is probably one of the most amazing musicians that I have ever heard live. But,
and that's good because, like, she's probably just one of those professionals that shows up on time, can fill any role or gig that she's asked to, is completely dependable in the industry, and that working for someone like Weird Al means she's going to be taken care of properly.
Yeah, and she was having fun, like, because I mean, all the background players were in on the bits, in on the costume changes, and like. So, and same thing, like when she does the shows with Dweezil, like Dweezil puts on a fun show too, and you can definitely tell, like, not only is she great at playing her instruments, but she has fun while she's up there. It's not just like a stiff board just playing the music and going from A to B.
Well, they can always dangle it out there, like, if you don't step up your game, we can go get the guy from Lost Boys. He's available.
It's true.
We can't do it.
Oh man, that'd be a great cameo. He's got to do that someday. But
I think it's been 40 years. He might have to wear like the muscle shirt at this point.
That's okay. I mean, he would look like he would fit in with Weird Al's band at that point.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, not so much more else to say about it other than the fact that if you haven't seen him yet, you need to find a way to see him before he's done touring or moves on to the next plane. And that was a discussion I had with, I think, Greg as well, or maybe even Caitlin.
He'll outlive us all.
That, well, not even that, but like I feel like he is going to be the musician that once he does die is going to break the most people. Because seeing the cross section of people at a Weird Al concert is amazing. You've got like 5-year-olds up to like 85-year-olds, and all of them are like having a blast. And that's the coolest part of the show, is just seeing the dichotomy of like Weird Al fans.
Every single like thread that comes up on Reddit or wherever that's like, God damn it, aren't there any celebrities left that don't have horrific secrets in their closet? And it's like LeVar Burton, Mr. Rogers, Weird Al, like the actual good people in show business.
I don't know, man. Have you watched the Weird Al documentary?
Yeah, right. I saw that biopic. Yeah. He shouldn't have treated Madonna like that, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, Madonna was just using him to get parodied.
That's
so,
true.
You know.
Well, he was a sex object, as we know.
Yeah, it's true.
Poor guy.
But yeah, so that was a blast. That was on Wednesday and late night, but freaking worth it, man.
Well, I think the way in for me, and I was thinking about this when I knew you were going that day, and I think I was picking up the boy from camp, and I was like, I got to start sneaking Weird Al into the transportation rotation and seeing if he picks up any like for it. And then, like you said, maybe next year, get some lawn seats.
Yep.
And I'm sure Weird Al's prices are kept as reasonable as possible.
I mean, the seats I got were, and like I said, they were really good seats, even though they were in like the second section. It was $100. Even
you're
like
you're not playing a pavilion in the United States of America with it getting Live Nation involved. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's the thing that sucks. But for the most part, with the Live Nation consideration, especially the lawn seats, since Live Nation does their summer packs or whatever. So if you wanted to, towards the like last month or so before the concert, they were offering the like $55 for 2 lawn seat tickets. So like if you
hey, for 2 people, that's great. I'm on board. So, that's awesome.
Yeah, you really need to start pushing Weird Al onto the boy.
So I'm just gonna start slipping it into the mix and see if I have to figure out what original songs he knows though.
Does he like Captain Underpants?
Oh, loves it.
So Weird Al sang the theme song to the Captain Underpants movie.
Oh, that's right. I pointed that out. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Well, that's enough to get him on board, right? If that is that one association, because it's something he likes instead of something, my dad wants me to listen to, which, more power to him. That should be his view.
Exactly. Until he's, 30, 35, and he's like, crap. My dad had good taste in music.
Nah. Well, hey, he seems to enjoy Necrogoblicon, so I can't ask for much more than that.
It's true.
But so you don't really have a chump of the week, but I think that maybe I got a preview that there could be the opposite this week. God forbid something good happened to Wyatt. Did you allow it to happen to yourself?
No, I didn't. But man, this is too Wyatt focused. But it's okay since we're already in here. The
people love Wyatt. I love Wyatt.
Well, I want to hear about Wyatt. So yesterday, I do a yearly. It's once a year. I don't make a habit of doing anything else. But there's a Volkswagen car show that's now it's about an hour from me. It was about 25 minutes from me when I was living in my last place. But it's just a cool little show where people have Volkswagens all the way from the 40s up through, I think the cutoff for the actual car show participation is like 96 at this point, because I think it's 30 years or older. So you got 50 years of Volkswagen vehicles, from Beetles to Things to Vanagons to buses to Carmen Gias, dune buggies. That's just a bunch of people.
Why'd they start in the 40s, Wyatt?
So it was really cool because there were a lot of people that brought their vehicles to this car show, and it's really fun being able to see all the cool things that people have done with their vehicles. And I've done, a few things to the van since I've had it. I mean, it's still nowhere near where I want it to be, but I think it looks some cool progress with it. Yeah. So
we got your mirrors on that we heard about on the show.
Yeah. And they work pretty damn great, according to this trip that I went on this past weekend, which we don't need to get into that, too, because that's way too much friggin' Wyatt to talk about.
Well, we can get into the fact that you did this event and the trip you went on, and I didn't hear about a breakdown in either of those. So
yeah, but now you mentioned it, it's going to break down when I take it to pinball in a couple days. But no, that's just Wyatt's pessimism coming out there. But yeah, I made the trip last weekend up and back, and ran perfect, made it to the car show. It was perfect, and basically just, you park in a field next to a bunch of other Vanagons, because they have them all in the sections of, you're with your vehicles. So it was kind of cool to be able to meet some people that also own these, that have had their own trials and tribulations, and see what modifications and different things that they've done to their vans, and get some ideas and, share
Chop
tips
it up
and
about
everything.
similar headaches.
Yeah, exactly. So, we got there and put out my lawn chairs or my camp chairs and just kind of hung out, and people came by, and I don't know, like, so many people wanted to look at my van, which, to be perfectly honest with you, wasn't even like, there were some really nice Vanagons
I saw
there.
the pictures of the other stuff there, and no offense to your van, but there were some damn cool samples of,
Oh, I know. There's some people that like theirs to be essentially showroom vehicles,
Mhm.
which is never anything that I've ever wanted mine to be. I want mine to be, I
It
use
just went
this, I go
camping.
camping it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and a couple people that came and looked at it essentially said the same thing. They're like, yeah, some of these ones look really cool that are all shiny and all this stuff, but like, this one looks like you actually love this thing. Like, you've definitely used it. Like, the modifications I've done to it are to make it more useful. And I spent, I don't know, way too much time talking to people coming up and everything. And my dad was supposed to meet me there early in the morning, but he's not great at sleeping. So when he actually gets a chance to sleep, I don't expect him to be up super early. So I had texted him when I was leaving at like 7:30 yesterday morning. I was like, hey, I'm heading out because he told me to let him know. And he's like, I'm still in bed. He's like, I'll just meet you there when I get there. But so he showed up around 10 o'clock or so, and then him and I hung out, which was pretty cool. I always like getting a chance to hang out with him, and he really enjoys the car culture and the van culture. And he bought me lunch, which was, I don't know if I sent you guys a picture of the loaded fries that I got
It was more of
from.
a mountain.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. Like, I think they were like $10, which is pretty expensive for fries. And I was like, but I'm like, I'm not getting anything else. Sure, that'll be my lunch. And I went to, I think, ended up getting us some like giant homemade lemonades or something. And I went back to the van, and my dad was like, yeah, he's like, I'll bring the stuff back. And he's like, basically looks like he's carrying like a dead body at this point. And he comes back to me. He's like, I need you to take this. He's like, this is like 4 pounds of fries here. And I tried like lifting it up, and it was a hell of a lot heavier than I thought it was going to be. It was legitimately like 3 or 4 pounds of fries and bacon and green onion and sour cream and peppers and mushrooms. And damn, buddy, they were heavy.
Especially
But
after your breakfast.
I had a hot dog bowl earlier today. Yes, I did.
well, it's just like it's kind of like a salad, but it's got a bunch of chopped up hot dogs in a bowl.
Big old bread bowl.
Big old bread bowl. So it's like a salad, but unhealthy. It's like a hot dog, but unhealthier.
So by going to this show and bringing your van, is it automatically entered and judged against other vans
so the whole
by a
idea,
field of your peers kind of thing?
So it's, and by a field of the peers, it's actually like the volunteers that run the show.
Oh, okay, cool.
All the people, yeah, which are also, they're the ones that, it's called the Bug Club, which is like the air cooled and the vintage Volkswagen club in New Hampshire, which I'd say I pay to be a part of it. I don't actually go to anything because I'm just that type of person, I guess. But maybe I'll get out of my shell and go show up to their monthly meetups and their drives and stuff.
That's a good cause anyway.
Yeah, so they they wander around, they look at stuff, and they vote, and excuse me, there ends up being like an award ceremony at the end, which last year I was there too, and I absolutely expected not to win anything, and I didn't win anything because I definitely didn't deserve to. But I was just sitting there hanging out with my dad because I was like, you know what? And people were leaving, like, started leaving it went 9 to 2. People started leaving at like noon. And I don't know, older vehicles, other things to do. The people were coming from all the way from like Connecticut and stuff, so they may have just wanted to get back on the road early.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, you know what? I've been here for 4 hours. I'm at least gonna just hang out through the awards ceremony, but not thinking I'm gonna get anything or anything, because I just want to see who wins what and just leave at the end, because I paid my $15 for my car to be there. Why not?
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and the Vanagons were, I think there was like A through T, every letter in the alphabet through that, and Vanagons were O. So I'm like, I'm going to be here for a while anyways. So I was just sitting there enjoying my fries and hanging out with my dad, and we were just sitting there shooting the shit. And they get to Vanagons. I'm like, all right, my ears perk up. So I'm like, I want to see who's going to win. And they call third place. And I was, in my head, I'm like, if I'm going to get something, I might get like a third place, because, I don't know. And second place comes, and I hear Wyatt Sinclair with a 1985 green Volkswagen Vanagon. I'm like, what the hell? And it kind of took me like 5 to 10 seconds for it to process. And my dad's like, hey.
That's a hell of a weird sound. I never made that before.
Yeah. And my dad's like, hey, they called you. So I'm like, oh shit. So I and I was, and like,
he was stunned, deer in headlights.
Yeah. So like, I started walking up and I realized I was a lot further from the like awards booth than I thought I was. So I I'm not gonna make you wait. So I ran up and grabbed my plaque, and people, gave me a nice little golf clap, and I went back and I was like, holy hell. And I think, and I showed you guys the tag that I put on the van for it. I think my sense of humor I think that's why I was successful with, my bakery. I think that's why I was successful with this. If you're personable, you make people laugh, they tend to want good things for you, in my experience.
I'd like to think that, the I guess ability for a man to show the slightest bit of self-deprecation and humor these days is something of a rarity. I don't know.
Which is weird, but
yeah.
So they had little placards that you put on the front of your vehicles that basically said, this is the year, this is the model, this is who owns it, and like, do you have any special features on the van? And people, I did a Subaru swap on it, or I did this, or it has, a pearlescent paint job. And mine, I just wrote, this van runs on hopes and dreams. And the amount of people that saw that, and even just like passing, they didn't spend a ton of time.
You just win them over right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just they came and they're like, that is hilarious. It runs on hopes and dreams. I'm like, yeah, and sometimes I run out, but for right now it made it here. So it was really cool. I sat there. I ended up, driving it back home. My dad, it was like the proud dad moment, even though it's like, I didn't really do anything. I'm so happy that you're proud of me. I'm proud of me too, but like, cool.
I'm proud of you, Wyatt.
Well, thanks. It was, it's a little validating because I've put so much money, and there's been so many sad times, and
there's been a hell of a lot of sweat equity in the damn thing.
Yeah, and to see somebody be like, I like this van. It's not good enough to be number one. And to be perfectly honest with you, I blacked out after I got my award. I have no idea what van finished in first place.
Oh,
I know that they're going to be announcing, because, they're on social media and stuff. And they said the next few days they'll be posting photos and, the winners of the award. So hopefully I'll get a picture of whoever the first place was, because then I need to see who my competition is next year.
No, you got to look at it this way. Yes, it keeps you humble, keeps you hungry. And you got that validation, and it feels good. But that first place, you would have just been all ego, and you would have gone down a dark path. You would have started drinking, doing coke, and we would have found you, spun out, had to put you in a facility. We had to sell the Vanagon to get you to through the facility, and then we have to start over from scratch next year. They're gonna see. It's just better to take second, I think.
Man, because you know what I learned when I was younger. I learned from a documentary that I watched that if you're not first, you're last.
That's true.
So I did not wake up in the morning. I did not piss excellence. I finished in second place. I was the first loser.
First loser. Yeah.
But
validating what? First loser.
For this week, I'm going to say, G Van Choi, not me, but G Van Choi gets to be my champ of the week.
And you are my
champ of
the week. Champ. All right, so that's enough talk about Wyatt. Let's talk a little bit about Nick here and get the ball rolling, because nobody wants to hear me talk for as long as I just talked.
Well, it's another week of proving that I am a boring person and watch too many movies. We knocked out 3 new ones this weekend. And, I guess I owe you... I think we talked about the Mission Impossible series continuing with 3 and 4 last week. We finished Ghost Protocol, and then 5 was whatever that was. That was pretty good. But
Rogue
Friday
Nation,
we watched 6, which was Fallout. 5 was very good, but it was definitely a lot of stunt setup stuff.
It's just Tom Cruise trying to have his death wishes and get his adrenaline going.
Yeah, well, that was the one that he does the underwater thing. That whole scene was really cool. He has to break into the vault with he's free diving. And of course, everything goes terribly wrong. But Mission Impossible Fallout was the 6th movie in the franchise, releasing in 2018. And I think the main addition to the cast on this one was Superman himself.
Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill, however you want to say it. Who is, I'll break it to the audience, he turns bad. He's a rogue agent.
Is this the one where he reloads his arms and everyone thought that was the coolest thing? He got into a fight in the bathroom or something?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
The bathroom fight was quite good. There's also like an elevator fight, if I remember correctly. But this one, just as a movie, as a whole, was kind of my favorite so far. And it's funny that we were just talking about Ronin. It's got a lot of tight European street racing and a BMW, cool car driving stuff that's really awesome. And Wyatt, biggest part of Fallout of all.
Ving Rhames?
Who's like Ving Rhames, my man Ving Rhames. He ain't sitting in no chair in this one, friend.
Oh,
No.
he gets moving? I haven't seen
All
this one,
action
so.
Rhames all the time in this one.
Whoa.
He's up and about. He's got guns. He's in. Oh, dude, he is no longer just the guy in the van. Luther is like completely on it. And yep, it was awesome. He gets an even bigger role. He's fully back now. And damn, what a good series. I'm excited for the next one, which I think was the one where they did the Uncharted thing, and he dangles from the hung train over the cliffside. I can't wait to watch that with the boy. But man, what a great series! And I don't know if I've said this before, but I think this series, at least in the modern age, is edging out Bond for me.
Really?
Just more cool setups, more cool set pieces. The actual movie making of it, being all the practical stunt work, is kind of cooler in a lot of ways. Not to say Bond doesn't do stuff. And more fun gadgets. I don't know. Is it not to take anything away from the Craig movies? Most of the Pierce Brosnan ones are complete pieces of shit outside of GoldenEye, but the Daniel Craig ones are more miss than hit. No, I don't want to say that, but like Quantum of Solace wasn't particularly good. There was another one that wasn't great, but then there were some really good ones. I don't know. Those series are really neck and neck for neck right now. Say that 5 times. But moving on, we will finish it out. I watched 2 new movies.
Oh boy.
One was a comedy and one was a horror thriller. So which would you like to hear about first?
Well, we went comedy with Weird Al to thriller with action with Mission Impossible. Let's go back to comedy.
Back to comedy. Okay. So this past Friday, I watched the 2026 movie premiering on Apple TV, The Dink. And
I really don't want to see that. I hope you tell me that you enjoyed it, because for something about, I love Jake Johnson. I love Mary Steenburgen.
It's a pickleball movie.
Yeah, which is why I'm like, I don't know, man. Pickleball's ruining everything in this world right now.
Well, that's the entire setup of the movie, actually, is
okay.
It's like a poor man's Happy Gilmore opening up with Jake Johnson as a kid being raised as like the ultimate tennis player.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's about him at his dad's tennis club in LA, and they have one pickleball court that they had to finally give them, but now all the pickleball players want half the courts in the whole place. So, he's fighting on the side of tennis versus these pickleball people coming in. And, fun enough setup. I had concerns when I saw it was PG-13. Like, you better be a smart comedy if you're going to play abroad. I don't know if it's going to be great or not. It could have been good.
It
is not good. Jake Johnson, I like. I really do.
I do too. I love him.
He's trying his hardest in this. Along with Aaron Chen, plays PJ, his best friend.
Yep.
That dude, absolutely hilarious throughout the whole thing. He's charming. He's wonderful. He plays like a sycophant, like hanger-on to Jake Johnson, who's kind of the former pro, who's a failed legend now, working at his dad's club. And Ed Harris is in this as his dad, and if he committed to the bit more and like leaned into it more, it could have been funnier. But everything I watched Ed Harris in this movie said he did not want to be there and is like totally just phoning it in, going through the motions. There's this whole like recurring joke that kind of could have been great that he does with Patton Oswalt, like, what expenses do a tennis club really have? And they get these people to pay them obscene amounts of money in the middle of LA kind of thing. Well, the one expense that they joke about is paper cups for the water tubs kind of thing. And he's like, I see you, Patton Oswalt. You're a greedy little piggy with those paper cups. You sip and throw away. And they pull the string so long throughout the movie. And it's like Ed Harris is like doesn't give a shit about the joke, and he's the one that's supposed to be delivering it.
Yeah, selling it.
Yeah, it's really awkward in that sense. And then this other part that really pissed me off is so Jake Johnson becomes friends with Mary Steenburgen, who is obviously representative of the older pickleball players, and they kind of find a friendship, and she turns him onto a playlist of music. And he's like, country cowgirls, I'm never going to listen to this. Country music sucks ass. And she's like, how dare you? Country music can be beautiful. It's not the stereotype stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. That's part of the story. And he's going to play this playlist called Country Cowgirl Classics or something. And it'll be like Patsy Cline or something like that, right? No, it's like top 40 pandering straight out of that song that's making fun of everything, like the worst kind of country you could possibly imagine. And then it just like cuts to Jake Johnson singing with it, like, well, I was on my truck, and he's like half crying and all this shit. It's like, what the fuck is this? And then they have a scene at a country and western bar, and then there's like more just terrible country music there. It's all extraordinarily shoehorned in. And I guess it's because, like, that's what's hot right now. So Apple's going, what's going to pop with the algorithm? Let's put a fucking Morgan Wallen douchebag song or whatever the fuck in this. I don't know. But it totally tonally out of the movie, has no place in there whatsoever. And pop country music is the worst garbage on the face of the planet. It's like worse than reggae, for God's sakes. Even white guy reggae. It's just, oh, fuck. So bad. And I don't understand. I think it's because it's a streaming release.
Yeah,
it's just
which
like,
checks
let's paint
out
with the broadest brush to hit the algorithm notes as possible. There's a mildly amusing scene at the end with Johnny McEnroe where he's just an audience member watching, but he like can't stop himself from making these, really verbose commentaries, like talking about the heart of the players and stuff, as he was very known to do, I guess. Andy Roddick is supposed to be the heavy, but they don't want to make Andy Roddick look bad. So it's just like talking about how Andy Roddick's really cool and has a supermodel wife, but he's supposed to be the bad guy. Yeah, don't worry about missing this one because it sucks.
It's disappointing. Like I said, I really enjoy Jake Johnson. I think we were talking the other day how you said you haven't seen New Girl.
No, I never have.
If you like Jake Johnson and you haven't even seen New Girl, I really do think you need to.
Well, he did a Netflix movie called Win It All that I thought was great. It was about poker and basically about people chasing it with gambling and how they're actually addicted to losing and all that good stuff. But that movie was phenomenal. I really actually liked that. Speaking of streaming movies, that was a hard R comedy. And you even got Ben Stiller here. He was a producer in this, and he's kind of largely wasted. He plays a doctor who just keeps repeating the same thing about he should check out stickyhoney.com because there's hot singles in his area. Like, that's what they do with Ben Stiller. I don't know, man. It just wasn't good.
A waste of talent is basically what you're...
Waste of talent. Total waste of talent. I think this is... Yeah, even if you said, it wasn't bad, you'd forget about this movie ever existed 6 months from now. It's the most 4.55 out of 10 that's ever existed. There are a couple parts, so I'm like, that was funny. Like, and like I said, Aaron Chen is great. Like, the performances are good, except for Ed Harris clearly not giving a shit about being there. Patton Oswalt, great as always. But they're all just kind of wasted, and it feels like they're held back. Where if this was an improv comedy, it could have been hilarious.
Jake Johnson is a really good improv.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's likable. Even when he kind of plays a shithead in this movie, like you're still pulling for him. But I don't know, he's not enough to save just weak script. Everything in this is like, it's playing on what's hot right now. So pickleball, country music, what else can we throw in the mix that'll fire off on the algorithm that people will click on it? And that's what it feels like. So yeah, skip the dink.
Can I offer you,
yeah,
since it's right in the same wheelhouse, can I offer you a different Jake Johnson streaming movie that I think you would really enjoy? I loved.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
Self-Reliance. If you haven't seen that, you need to.
Oh, is that
watch.
the game show thing where he has to?
Yeah, he has to survive 30 days.
That was wild. Yeah. No, it had.
So you have seen that?
Yeah, it had Chirp Brother in it. Biff Whiff, thank you. Yeah, no, that was great. I enjoyed that. And that movie would not have been as great without Jake Johnson, I would say.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, he wrote, I believe he wrote and directed it, or
that would make a lot of sense then.
He wrote, directed, and starred.
Oh, okay. I was like, this really plays to his strengths. Okay.
Yeah, he knows what he's good at.
Oh God, I'm not a smart man.
I mean, how would you know that he didn't? That he directed and wrote it.
But that brings us on to last night's feature, which is big movie this year. I'm sure you've heard about it. Made on a shoestring budget by Hollywood standards and crushed a lot of high budget competition. Last night, I watched the 2026 feature Obsession.
That is on our list to watch, and once we have a chance to sit down and watch it, it's probably gonna be the next movie that we watch.
So this is actually a 25 movie, but by the time I think it was done doing the festival rounds and actually found a distributor, it got a wide release in theaters in 2026 and went on to absolutely crush it. Made like $500 million on a $15 million budget. Likely the only person you've heard of in this movie is Andy Richter, who of course is wonderful, small though the role is. Very young cast, very limited cast. I think you watch the credits, there's like 15 people in the movie.
Shoestring budget, I think.
Yes, but they said it was
$750,000.
$750,000. Yep. They acquired the distribution rights for $15 million. There you go, and made $448 million on that $15 million. So that was a good pickup by the guys that bought it. Goodness. Yeah. So this is like I said, a horror thriller. And without giving too much away, you're best to go in dark. But it is a kind of a monkey paw, careful what you wish for type setup, but a little smarter than that classic story that you've maybe seen a million times. The female lead in this, I believe I'm saying it right, is Indy Navarrete, is phenomenal.
Yep.
Like phenomenal. There are a couple parts in this movie that kind of have her snapping back between kind of different personalities or states of mind, and it's so fluent in the way she does it. Like whispers of like Primal Fear type of stuff, if you can remember Norton in that, which might have come out in '96. Am I getting that right?
I think so.
But
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so Going Dark, it's not a light movie. There's definitely some pretty stomach-churny scene stuff here, but some great messaging too, that I hope most of its audience is smart enough to pick up on when we're picking out who's the villain and who gets left with the mess and how that often translates in real-world relationships. Nudge, nudge, folks. It well worth a watch. Can't wait to see what else is done by whoever made this.
Trey Barker.
Yeah, he was a YouTube sketch comedy.
Yeah, this just goes to show you that comedy and horror is so close together. You've got Curry
As we know from Whitest Kids You Know.
Yep, yeah. Zach Krager, who did Weapons, and he's doing or has done. I don't know when the Resident Evil movie is coming out, but he's doing that.
He also did. He did the one before that was brilliant too. Barbaric.
Did he do Barbarian? Barbarian.
Whatever the one. The bad.
Yeah, Barbarian. I forgot. Yeah. Barbarian.
About the Airbnb.
Weapons.
Yeah, that was crazy good.
Yeah. So I mean, and like I said, Jordan
Peele. Yeah,
so,
totally.
Comedy and horror is just.
Oh, not to just step on. You see that breaking news? Posted on their Instagram or whatever. Yeah, Jordan Peele and John Carpenter sitting down and chopping it up yesterday for lunch. God, let that lead to something. I could die happy. I still say that dude at Pinball Expo was John Carpenter.
I mean, he could have been. I mean, John Carpenter loves pinball. I don't know if that's true, but
I know he loves video games, so I'm just going to blindly assume I've heard him say he loves pinball. It's got to be true, right? But imagine. Obsession, I hate to give anything away in the plot. Like I said, just go in dark. Don't watch trailers. Don't listen to anything anybody else says. Take away your own meanings. See what you think. It's best watched and then kind of sat with, I think. Because there's a lot being said here. A very smart movie. And yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. Just I think, well, I'll wait for you to see it, and we can circle back and decide if we're on the same page and throw out a spoiler warning that we're about to talk about stuff, because there's so much I want to talk about in this movie with you.
I look forward to it. Yeah, like I said, it's been on our list. We just haven't had a chance to actually sit down and watch something longer than 30 minutes for the last couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
I don't think the overall was like mind blowing. Just perhaps I've consumed too much that's somewhat adjacent to this, but the performances and the fact that they did it for what they did it on, just fantastic. Oh, dude, people talk about modern movies and lighting and color grading and things that have been forgotten. Totally brilliant use of lighting in this movie, and obviously it had to be because they did it for nothing. So, yeah, kudos all around. Great movie. Go check out Obsession.
Sounds like the next movie you're gonna have to watch, since everyone seems to talk about these in the same breath, is Backrooms.
Yeah, it's time to get into those liminal spaces.
Yep.
That was based off a web series too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, speaking of things based off a web series, man, I won't touch into it too much, but I'm still going through Nirvana, the band, the show, not the movie.
I'm happy that you finally found that. I
so
could have sworn
up
that
my
I mentioned
alley.
it a
It's
while
horrible.
ago. Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe it how on my level that humor is. It's so good, so good, so smart. I love it. So stupid at the same time.
That's why it's great.
Yeah, they could run that bit forever, and I don't think it would ever get old, honestly. Like, you started getting into the end of Trailer Park Boys, the same bit, they go to jail, they come back, they're going to grow dope. They go to jail, they come back, they're going to grow dope. Like, started wearing pretty thin, but I feel like you could pull that Rivoli string till the end of time.
Yeah, I need to watch it again. I haven't watched it in a long time. I watched
the movie is unbelievably good if you haven't watched that yet, too.
The show I haven't watched in a while.
Yeah, understood, yeah.
But, yeah, no, that one came out of nowhere. I remember seeing it. I don't remember exactly where, but it might have just randomly popped up on YouTube, a trailer or something, and I watched it, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember watching this show. They're doing a movie? And it was all downhill from there. Or uphill, depending on how you want to look at it.
Well, Wyatt, we have a new segment that we have to transition into, but I'm going to go ahead and take my weekly break now, if that's okay with you, and then we'll be back with something new and Backlog Buster Brothers.
You do it, buddy.
Who's Tom Stamos? Take one look at them, because you're going to be seeing and hearing a lot of them. We build vans factory direct. Don't be mistaken by the middleman. Eliminate the middleman. Come directly to our plant. Buy one factory direct. Dusty, tell him. You know Dusty Roller Magazine does not tell you no lies. Don't lead you astray. Right here, Tom Stamos is going to be in your hearts, your souls, and your mind. Because you can come to the factory right here in Georgia and get what you want to get for the littlest price of all.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for bearing with us. As we always say, hopefully I've inserted something funny in the meantime. But right now, Wyatt, it's time to go to the news.
We don't have it yet news.
Welcome to MTV News 1996. We are back. Wyatt, what do we got to talk about today? Lots of stuff in the news.
It's all very fun stuff. Let's start with something that we've been talking about quite a bit since, we started this podcast. And if you've listened to any of these episodes, you know that Nick and I have an affinity for
Carl. Hello, Carl.
A little cat named Princess Donut, the Queen Anne chunk.
Princess Donut was out slinging donuts this week at San Diego Comic-Con in a food truck.
Yeah. I can't believe he didn't get out. I wonder, Ian was out there. We should have told Ian to make sure he...
I saw some pictures. There was like a group of like 25 boxer shorted Carls with stuffy cats on their shoulders. It's pretty great.
Yeah, that checks out. Yeah. That checks out. It's starting to hit critical mass, which I think is awesome. I think Matt Ditterman deserves all of the success that he's getting, and it's really cool to see how it's all going. I'm a little worried about the oversaturation because I think we're just about hitting that point.
Yeah, it's coming hard and fast at everybody now. But I wish that success was translated to a pinball machine from a different company, Wyatt.
Yeah, this was one of the companies that we posited was going to receive the license many months ago when it was revealed that a machine was going to be made, and we were both hoping it was going to pretty much be anyone except for this company.
Well, it was essentially down to
it was Barrels of Fun and Polymorphic.
It was Barrels of Fun or Polymorphic, and everybody thought it'll be Barrels of Fun. It's not Barrels of Fun.
I thought it's going to be Polymorphic.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Polymorphic is going to be making Dungeon Crawler Carl Pinball. This is nothing against the Polymorphic company. I think what they do is really cool. So for anyone that doesn't know, Polymorphic created basically a base pinball machine that the bottom is, would you say it's more like virtual pinball on the bottom?
The bottom half of the playfield is largely based around the playfield is a large video screen, and the lower half of that playfield is largely a reactive video section.
Yes. And then they create modules for the top half of the playfield that gives you different ramp layouts, different little toys or whatever that's on it for different properties. And they've had some pretty cool properties. They created a Weird Al. They created Princess Bride. There was one other one that Portal.
Whoever's doing their licensing.
Yeah, they get great licensing.
Wonderful taste.
My problem with this, and this is more of a selfish problem on my end, is anytime I've seen one of these, it seems like they're broken. They're not really set up for an arcade or a pinball experience aside from being at home. So the chances that I'm ever going to be able to play this are so incredibly slim, and it's very disappointing because this is a great property to create a pinball machine out of, and I'm just sad that
it's going to go to the home market, and that's not us because we don't have an extra 10 grand laying around. Now, to Polymorphic's credit, I think they're a little more affordable, and the point of it is that you buy a pinball machine, you're just stuck with that pinball machine, which I don't know how true that is because I imagine you just get in knowing everybody else in the scene anyway, so you just go, anybody want to trade me for this, what have you? Yeah.
The people I know that have pinball machines, that's exactly how that goes. You get a pinball machine,
and then you swap it for the next one.
Yeah, you play it. I'm bored. Okay, I've got this. I want this. Oh, you got that? Yeah, let's not trade money. Let's just trade machines.
Yeah, it's like grown-ups with too big of bank accounts trading their baseball cards from when they were kids. It's no different, really. But yeah, the idea, like Wyatt said, is Polymorphic. You have a home machine, and you can turn that Portal that you bought now by just swapping a small parts package into a Dungeon Crawler Carl, and then obviously all the video stuff is just software. But that doesn't let Nick and Wyatt play it at their clubs, at the arcade, at a bar, anywhere. It's only for people that can afford to put one in their basement, and that sucks.
Have I been saying I have? I'm such an idiot. I keep saying Polymorphic. It's Multimorphic. It's a P3 table. It's Multimorphic. Yeah. So
sorry,
everyone that's yelling at us for the last 5 minutes.
Radio.
Yeah. As we're sitting there saying it, like in my head, I'm like, this doesn't sound right. This doesn't sound right. And then I went to go look at the pricing on.
It's on me completely because I wrote out the show note and I just put that in. So that's not on you at all. That was just
it's on me because I'm Ron Burgundy and I read whatever's written in front of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's Multimorphic that's making it. I'm sorry. But yeah, you said it a little more affordable. I believe to get a base, the starter, it's like $11,000. The modules to install are about $2,000 or $3,000. So those are more affordable. Yeah. But getting started, it's no cheaper than buying a Stern or.
I mean, this is a rich man's hobby. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But if I was gonna spend. Yeah, if $3,000 would be like as much as I think I could stomach probably spending on a home pinball machine, and even then I'd really be gritting my teeth on like what to get or anything. I don't know. I can't fathom 10,000. That's a car to me. I know not these days, but in my head it is.
Yeah. So the Multimorphic, so it's $8,500 without any kits, and then the kits.
Oh, so it's more than a Stern Pro.
Yeah,
significantly more.
Yep. Because then if you're adding a kit to it, you're looking at, $11,000.
I can't get on board with that at all.
$12,000.
No, there are so many good Stern Pros, and you could buy one brand new, shipped to your house, even for $7,000. That's
And like I said, like these are just built based on experiences I've heard from people, because there's been a few people that do actually have these in arcades or whatever, but they're always down because pinball machines are always broken, but these aren't made to
Well,
be
when that becomes
abused.
modular, and
Right.
they're not made to receive that level of play.
So, from what I heard, and a lot of this stuff is just conjecture at this point, but supposedly Multimorphic doesn't have an exclusive license, so it's possible that someone else could make one.
Okay.
But I don't think you're gonna get more than one. Maybe you will.
A couple years down the road, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. Barrels of Fun, you're making Bon Jovi, apparently. Why? Why?
I thought, how many more bands need
That's what I said. I thought we were
machines?
done. I thought we were through this, at least for that generation. Like, let it go. Like, it can be stuff that I'm not even into. I don't care. Just bring it up to a little further in time, for God's sakes.
Give me a Run the Jewels pinball.
That would be nice. I can deal with that. Yeah. Well, I mean, Wu-Tang is the one that's staring everybody in the face.
Oh,
It
yeah.
would be an absolute licensing nightmare, unfortunately.
Oh god, yeah. That's why it's never gonna happen. Because trying to get all them together, and that's.
You know who wouldn't be a licensing nightmare, Wyatt? Guar.
Us? Oh, I was just saying
Guar would
us.
do it. Guar are out there doing commercials for the Onion. You know, they'd sign on good products. They'd sign their lives away for, $50 and a bag of crack. They'd be fine.
I love Guar.
Me too.
Let's go on to happier news.
Oh, I don't know if it's happy. Which one are we talking about?
I was being sardonic. There's no real happy
never
news
happy
that we
news.
have here. But the happier news, I guess this more or less falls under our whole Nostradamus thing in a way, because we discussed probably a few months ago about how Xbox Game Pass has hit its critical mass and it just wasn't doing what it needed to do, and we were positing what could they do to, I don't know, try to turn the ship around.
And
one of the things that
Nostradamuses.
Yeah, and one of the things we suggested was that maybe there needs to be some type of ad-based, free gaming.
Tier.
Yeah, and what is coming out, Nick? What is Xbox doing?
They're looking into the possibility of ad-supported and ad-based free tier streaming services for expanding their user base. Wyatt, I can't believe it. Who would have ever thought about stuff like this?
I know. Whoever they are, they should be given jobs
Geniuses.
at tech companies.
That's absolutely true. CEO roles, really.
Yeah,
Anything with a golden parachute, I'm fine. You can fire me after 6 months.
Yeah, give me a nice package of a couple $1,000,000 to go away, and I think I'll be happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's Xbox has decided that they're gonna try and give you, I think they said, was it 30 seconds or a minute commercial to get a half an hour, I believe, or an hour of.
I think it was 60 seconds for an hour.
Yeah, that's what it is. I was thinking 30 seconds for 30 minutes, but yes, 1 minute for 60 minutes makes sense. So yeah, a 1 minute ad, you get 60 minutes of cloud gaming for free, which I think is smart. I think we had mentioned before the idea of maybe they would just do that and it would subsidize and be like, okay, if you get the ad base, kind of like Netflix or Hulu or whoever, the ad based tier is just cheaper, which I didn't think was a good idea.
I don't like it because they see how well it works and how much money they make off of it, and then prices go up for everybody and the service gets shittier for everybody.
Which is exactly what has happened over and over again.
Yeah. But a free tier,
that's
a different equation entirely to me. They're still in the considering it phase, I think. But it's your Tubi model, what have you.
Yep.
That's a symbiotic relationship there. The gamer is getting something that they want and willing to endure whatever direct advertising that Microsoft's feeding to them. That they have a bid auction going on around the corner with all your personal data that they know about, that stuff you'll love, they'll feed you directly for 60 seconds. That's direct to consumer advertising. That's valuable. God knows they got the files on everybody, so yeah, that's valuable. And the gamer gets a service that they're asking for without cost. I don't have a problem with this. And if it's implemented in such a way that you sat through an unskippable 60-second ad block. Now you have a 1 hour, worth of online gaming time. And maybe you only get access to this core group of first-party titles, which God knows
it's not
that could
going to
be a lot
be
of
the
things at
entire
this point.
Game Pass library.
And nor should it be.
No.
You know. But it's maybe you get like a little Xbox notification like you would for an achievement or something that just says like you've got 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Make sure you're prepared. You know, pause now and watch another ad block and re-up your hour, or let it run out. But just so you know, because they've said that they're going to implement it if they do it in a way that wouldn't be totally interruptive of gameplay. If somebody's streaming an online match of Call of Duty or something, I don't know how that works. But
drop it. Yeah, my guess is something like that. If there, can you play? I assume you can. Can you play multiplayer online through
streaming?
Cloud
Yeah,
streaming?
you can. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not great. It's you want to be based
yeah.
on in the console. Trust. I tried streaming the game to the Xbox to the handheld, and playing online. And I didn't do very well, Wyatt.
I can imagine.
There's a bit of lag in there.
Yeah, so my guess is something like Call of Duty. It's probably going to be, if they include it in the free tier, it's going to be once this match is over, you sit through.
Yeah, exactly, and that's you can let me know how you feel about it, but I think that's fair.
No, I mean, like I said, if it's going to be free, I'm fine with it. You're the product. We're always the product, and even if we're paying stuff, we're still the product.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to collect our data anyways. It doesn't make it right, I understand, but that's sadly the world we live in. And if they're going to trade you, quote unquote, something free for 60 seconds of watching a targeted ad, most people, when they get to a friggin' loading screen in the game, are staring at their phone or something anyway.
Yep.
So you're just gonna stare at your phone. You're gonna it's not gonna.
It's 60 free seconds to check in on your feeds or what have you. Yeah.
Go toss your Hot Pocket in the microwave and come back. I think there are no good gaming companies anymore. They all suck.
I like Valve.
Yes, I say out of them, Valve. Yes, there's still good guy gaming.
I like GOG.
Yeah, well, I meant more. The console market.
The big three:
Sony, Nintendo, and
when
Microsoft.
Nintendo are the goodest guys in the room. Yeah,
it's not great.
Yeah.
Because obviously everything we've talked about with Sony saying they're killing off physical. Xbox, I'm pretty sure they kind of poked Sony a little bit, and they're introducing some things here and there, being able to get digital licenses for your physical games. I think they're going the same way. They haven't answered it yet. I think they're waiting for probably all of the blowback to hit Sony until finally people
let
just
them cook.
acquiesce.
Yeah. You don't step out in front of them and take over the headline space. You let people stay mad at Sony and say nothing.
So, I mean, it's only a matter of time, I think, before Microsoft comes out and does the same thing and kills it off. I do think we're moving towards a digital-only console future, which I don't want to say that that's going to be my time to check out, but I'm going to be very disappointed when...
I will be, but I think it's one of the few plays that Xbox has left is to fully embrace PC integration and just say the next Xbox has full Steam support. Maybe even Steam OS support if they want. And because they're doing this segues directly into the other Xbox.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Xbox games are now backward compatible on PC. So if you insert, not all titles yet, obviously, but
a very small number.
You can insert an original Xbox title, and I think this will extend to 360 as well, into your Xbox, load it to your digital library. You can now play that on PC natively, I believe, or probably through emulation in some manner.
I believe it's going to be natively because I think these are actually getting PC releases.
Okay, so yeah. Xbox backward compatibility on PC. Rediscover a selection of iconic original Xbox games now on PC and handheld. So what do we got? The first four are Fusion Frenzy,
which has been everywhere. Ever. Yeah, that game's so good still.
The entire game could just be Twisted System, and I'd be happy, honestly. Yep. Blinks the Time Sweeper, which I've never actually played. We'll have to get to that one.
It actually is a pretty good game. That is a fun game.
Crimson Skies, Road to Revenge.
I've never played that.
You've never played that?
No, I haven't played that one.
Oh, brilliant game, man. So good. It's actually like a fun story campaign, too. You have to play that.
I guess I will.
And then the old famous Conquer Alive and Reloaded, when they tried to take the bad boy Conquer and make a multiplayer shooter out of it.
Yeah, Call of Duty clone. more or less.
So yeah, we've gone mildly off topic or kind of sideways, but yeah, they'll move all digital, and that's what they're doing right now. They're gonna say, "Hey, look, so we're not abandoning. We're not abandoning. Can't accuse us. You know, you're gonna have still access to it, but this is part of the slow shift." I think they're just being smarter about it, and I think, like I said, if they can really embrace it and just go straight to Steam integration, that might be their only play left in the marketplace.
Yeah, I mean, at
Who's
that
to
point,
say?
I mean, the lines between PC gaming and console gaming are so blurred at this point that, yeah, you might as well.
They are
Xbox.
essentially the same thing now. I mean, next
Yeah,
generation,
that's what I'm
forget
saying.
about it. That's it. It's over. It's over by next gen completely. Like everybody's just going to be
Unless-
running a version of the same Linux underpinnings in a lot of ways, just to work
Well-
on their hardware the best.
until the Intellivision Amico comes out, because that's gaming for the family, and
It's still going to be coming, probably. Yeah.
You know, I got my pre-order in early.
I'll leave other shows to talk about that shit.
$300, and I'm expecting that anytime now. Never mind the fact that they declared bankruptcy and it's not actually coming out. But hey, you know, that's where real gamers play.
I think it's impossible to know what's going to come around the corner with Xbox, because I think there are people with somewhat good intentions about the brand, and then there's people like the CEO. It's impossible to know how she was installed, why she was installed. Maybe she is evil. Maybe she's just navigating this for the best she can, and she's been installed to fail. We've discussed all the possibilities here. It's impossible to know. There's no one single person to blame. It's basically blame AI and the shareholders and a lot of mismanagement steps along the way that included buying up half the studios on the planet. It's just...
That's going to work out well.
Yeah, it's impossible to know. And these layoffs are horrific. It's a terrible time to be in games. And I'm sorry to everyone that has to deal with it. But we'll keep trying to focus on the better parts, I guess. And I'm just going to sit back and watch what happens.
Watch the world burn.
Yes.
But you know what? I think that basically covered our Xbox backwards compatibility on PC, unless you want to talk a little bit more about it. But I think
I'll check it out eventually at some point if I remember to.
Yeah, you know, if an ad gets put in front of my face and I boot up my Xbox, I might remember to walk over to my
360
PC
emulation is actually killer now, and
it is.
It's a lot of fun to play with, especially with like old XBLA titles that were mostly lost to time. It's a lot of fun. You don't need that capable of a PC setup to do it. But if you are ready, sir, we can bust that backlog.
Hit it.
Let's go back to 1996, peoples.
Nicholas?
Yes, sir.
So we decided, I think this last week is when we decided to do something a little bit new with this. And I think it's going to go better, but this will be our first test of it, so we'll see. We have decided to both either watch or play the same thing, which we hope will make for a little more entertaining conversation instead of trying to remember something that one of us may have seen or played a dozen years ago.
30 years earlier,
Yeah. So we, for this first trial, we both played the wonderful 1996 Squaresoft 1v1 fighter / dungeon crawler, Tobal No. 1.
Yeah,
How'd
do you
you
want
like
to
it?
give... We covered this a little bit. Do you want to give some background on sort of some of the famous lineage of this game, I guess?
Yeah. So, I mean, the big thing about this game came out in 1995, I think, in Japan, or maybe it was early 96. I know it came out in the United States in 96, which is why we're playing it for this month's topic. But Akira Toriyama. Yeah, Akira Toriyama was the designer of all of the fighters in this game, and you may know him as the character designer from Chrono Trigger. You may know him from Dragon Ball. His artwork is very distinct, and that was the first thing I noticed when I booted up this game, that I was like, oh yeah, he 100% like created these characters.
Yeah, and it's Saiichi Ishii, I believe, who's provided the kind of fighting lineage of Virtua Fighter and Tekken, whose bones you can definitely feel Virtua Fighter in there for me.
Yeah. This game didn't sell super well. And
it saw a ton of rentals with people that never played the rental because they popped in the Final Fantasy VII demo disc that came with it and played that all weekend and then returned Tobal #1.
Yep. So there was actually a second game that came out, and based on my little bit of research trying to find it, I don't think that one actually ever came out in the United States. I think that got canceled because I was curious to see how that changed. But
it was available if you sailed certain waters.
Yeah,
still out there floating in space,
but it didn't get an actual release.
Not in North America, no.
Yes,
that I'm aware of. Yeah, but it was done like in English and everything. It's not like a fan translation ROM or something that's out there.
No, it just didn't
get it. Yeah,
which is
the market wasn't there. Fair enough.
No, like I said, it got pretty good scores for the time, and it just didn't sell enough. And like we said, a lot of people either bought or rented it because they wanted to try Final Fantasy VII.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of sad because I think, I don't know, I want to see, what did you think about this game?
It's of its time, but having said that, there's actually a really deep fighting mechanic system here, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's obviously very much a letter of love, and let's stick these guys in a room on floor 2 and see what they come back with in 6 months, I think. In a letter of love from its designers, in so much as it's their thing. I think it wears its heart on its sleeve. Where else are you gonna get these weird experimental features, like just adding an entire like adventure sub game into a one-on-one 3D fighter?
I feel like that was the base part of it. Like, I understand it's a 1v1 fighter, but it felt like it almost was created backwards. Like, they decided to make the quest and they're like, oh yeah, let's do the 1v. Like, I know it was a fighting game, but the amount of effort that went into the quest mode almost seems like that was the main draw for the game.
Yeah, it's an entire game. And that, to be fair, that I only played a couple matches of the versus mode just to like get a feel for the fighting game, and then I went straight back into the dungeon thing. I was having so much fun running through floors on that. It's very basic and rough, but it zapped me directly to the more recent Yakuza games that I've played, where you do the dungeons and that. Yeah, It's the same thing, and it's like, oh, I can see how this may have inspired them to do that. And I think, what did you run this on? Because we mentioned it last week, but this actually ran at 60 frames a second because it's basically all smoothed over colored polygons. There's no real textures being used in the game.
Yeah, I just used the Ambernick RG 557.
Oh, okay,
just played it handheld there, and I mean it ran 60 frames per second.
Yeah, it doesn't need upscaling or any fancy hardware to do that. It's still got a very distinct visual style, but this, you have to remember, is still pre-DualShock era, I think, for the most part. So it wears its age, and I'd like to see if there maybe an update for the controls out there in the community somewhere. So playing the dungeon part is a little tankish, double tap up to run, and then you're kind of trying to steer through these hallways, and it works. But
it was early PlayStation, like that's
it's dated. Yeah, it's dated. But there's so much smart, cool design stuff in it that I'm kind of willing to overlook that. Am I going to keep playing it until the end of time? No, but it was a really cool thing to look back on.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the character design I actually played one full, I guess, playthrough of the tournament mode because I wanted to see the bosses and I wanted to see all of the characters. And
I admit I didn't even do a run. Like, that's bad. In a fighting game, I played the adventure part the whole time pretty much.
I literally just did it because I wanted to see, like, are there any cutscenes? Is there this or that? No, it's super basic. You got your first to win 2 rounds wins. You get your catchphrase said at the end of the match, and you move on to the next match. And you fight, I think there's 3 bosses that you fight. And then you get a little cutscene at the end where the king or whoever hands you a trophy, and it's like, yay, I win. But the character design was kind of fun. I played with the character Gren, or which maybe might be Green. It's Gren. He looks exactly like a Dragon Ball character mixed with Link from The Legend of Zelda. So I was like, oh, I got
That's an apt
him.
description, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the characters I'm looking at, like, oh, this reminds me of this Dragon Ball character, or oh, this looks like so and so from Chrono Trigger. Like, you can really see that the designer, his vision came through. Akira Toriyama knew exactly what he was doing. Like, he has his style.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It definitely it has a voice for sure.
Yeah. And it ran super smooth, 60 frames per second. It ran great. I made the mistake of, and maybe I would have enjoyed the fighting a little bit more if I had actually like opened up a FAQ or some type of instruction manual, because I jumped into it. I didn't know what the controls were. I didn't know how to do like any special moves, or if there were any special moves.
Yeah, the counter throw system's kind of, I guess, a big part of it.
Yes, it is. And so after I finished the tournament mode, I then found an FAQ and found all the characters' moves, and I was like, huh, all right, I guess there are actually some moves. So I just went into actually the practice mode and just started dealing with that. The throwing, the grappling and stuff actually is, I think, probably the most interesting part of this fighting system.
Yeah, it's got some pretty deep mechanics in there.
It really does. And I didn't, like I said, playing through the tournament mode, I didn't really see that, because I'm just mashing the different buttons and being like, I don't know, like a child does when they're playing a fighting game and they don't know what they're doing.
You can do kind of your quick punches like Virtual Fighter 1 and just keep doing that if you want, kind of thing. Yeah. And throwing some sweeps.
Because I'm like, okay, like this seems to do this, like this seems to be high, this seems to be medium, this seems to be low. I'm like, this button doesn't seem to do anything. And then about halfway through the tournament mode, I then realized, oh, there's a block button. Oh, this button jumps. And then I started, kind of putting it together. And then it wasn't until after I finished the tournament mode where it was like, maybe I should actually look to see what the directions are. Oh, the circle button literally doesn't do anything. I guess I don't need to press that. But it was fun. Like you said, it's of its time. I think if you play it now, you're going to be like, oh, cool. But it doesn't hold, even like Tekken 2, even definitely not Tekken 3. Like, those games definitely, I think, held up better. Tekken 3 definitely holds up a lot better than this does. But just to see Akira Toriyama's work, I guess, and to see a PlayStation game running at a smooth 60 frames per second is kind of cool. And that seems like such a nerd thing to say. And I know at least half the people that listen to this are going to be like,
they're rolling their eyes.
Yeah, what does that matter?
Pressing fast forward.
Yeah, but especially with a fighting game, having 60 frames per second is, you need it to be smooth. You want your inputs to be precise. You see those people playing, the Street Fighter 2, tournaments, and how they're frame matching each other. And,
yeah, I was gonna say that goes down to the frame too.
Yeah, and actually in the practice mode, it shows the frame delay. And if you go to practice mode and like you hit a combo or whatever, it tells you like how many frames it takes to do it, what the delay is. And I'm like, wow, that's actually
kind of a serious fighter here. Yeah. I'm looking at, you mentioned them not releasing Tobal 2. It was set to be released in North America with a planned launch date of March 7th, 1998, but it was canceled after the poor sales of Tobal 1 and Square's publishing deal with Sony Computer Entertainment. Both companies agreed that the sixth title release under their contract instead would be Einhander, which, I mean, to be fair, is a great game. So
it is a great game, but it's no Tobal number 2.
Yeah, up to 200 fighters, and so in the second one, you would actually listen to this, you could play the quest mode and do dungeon runs, but it was a lot more fleshed out with a full town, and you could actually throw a purple stone at monsters in the quest mode and capture them, and then
What's that sound like?
And then use them as fighters in the main game. Characters included Squaresoft classics such as the Chocobo. Well, shit, I'm going to go play Tobal 2 now.
I know. I think I mentioned this this week. We were talking a little bit. Like, I really want to play this just to see, up until 2010, which I don't know what took the record. I guess I could have done a little more research, but at least up until 2010, this was
characters.
The game with the largest roster in a fighting game of 200 playable characters.
Does Mugen count? Or maybe one of the King of Fighters Mega Mix thing, whatever's?
Yeah, maybe, but probably not. But this comes with a caveat that a lot of them were sprite swaps. It was, you catch this monster and they're a different color. They have like a little bit of a different move set. So it saying it's 200 characters it's kind of like, was it the new WWE 2K26 game? It's like, we have over 450 wrestlers in this game. Well, I guess at that point, that probably already is one of them that beat this. But they said they had some ridiculous number of wrestlers in the game, and it's like, oh, we have 14 versions of CM Punk. He just has a different shirt on for every character, but he counts as a new character. Yeah. So it's a little bit in that vein. Yeah. But I would love to fight as a Chocobo. So I might need to pop in Tobal 2.
Such as the glory of emulation.
Yeah, that's why we say that emulation is your friend.
You know, I actually
be safe.
I know we didn't have a movie for Backlog Busters this week, but I would throw a bonus 1996 feature that I did watch this week.
What was that?
Arnold Schwarzenegger in a little film called Eraser.
That movie, I haven't seen that in probably 10 years, but I remember loving that movie.
It's such an unbelievable piece of shit, like in the best way imaginable.
Yeah. It's a Schwarzenegger action movie.
It is such of an era of Schwarzenegger.
With James Caan.
And James Caan, Vanessa Williams is in this, and she's fine. She never really acted much outside of this that I can really recall. But James Caan he must have been having a ball. I don't know. It's bad, and he knows it, and he is hamming it up so flippin' hard. James Caan is a good actor. Like, you see him in Thief.
Absolutely.
The guy can absolutely act his ass off, despite however he may have acted in his personal life. But he is, like, having fun in this. Schwarzenegger, but it's so self-serious and just 90s, but it's actually cool and actually has some pretty funny parts that are, I don't know, maybe amusing to me now in their so 90s shittiness of them. Like, there's the part where he opens the parachute with like 10 feet left and smashes into the junkyard, and the kids come running up. He goes, where am I? And they're like, Earth, welcome. And it's like, oh, it's so 1996. It's wonderful. You could hear the audience clapping at that throughout the theater. Just terrible, but in a wonderful way. You got the handheld X-ray vision rail guns. I mean, what 13-year-old boy didn't want to watch that shit?
I need to watch that again.
Yeah, go watch it. There's like he protects this like fake mobster guy in the WITSEC that keeps popping up. Who's I can't remember. He's got some like horribly. Every character name is really stereotypical. Like the bad guy's name is like Tony Two Toes, and go watch it. It's wonderful. Apparently, there's a direct-to-video reboot of the film titled Eraser Reborn, starring Dominic Sherwood, released in 2022. I'm gonna go find that. Wow,
I bet that's absolutely garbage.
It's gotta be.
the cover of the movie looks like literally just like the cover for the original.
It was planned as a sequel and scrapped and became a reboot instead. All right, it's good then.
2020s. Yep.
All right,
let's get to our
assignments.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna stick with the same format we're doing because I enjoy it a little bit more. I think you might too. That we're both
we got real lives going on. It's summertime. We're going vacations. We got events. We got stuff. This works. I like it.
Yeah. So this week we're gonna do a movie. We discussed this a little bit. We discussed a few options, and I made a decision.
1996 film.
Yep, our final 1996 film, and later today I will be posting for our Patreon subscribers our August poll, so you can help us decide what our topic's going to be next month, and that'll be fun. So, Nick, I think there's a movie that came out in 1996 that had a lot of controversy surrounding it. The main character in this movie actually sued to stop the release of it. And failed. But it did not come out in theaters. It ended up becoming a direct-to-video.
As only the best movies do.
Yes, so it's very good. It has one of your favorite actresses, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're a big Carol Kane fan, right?
Sure.
All right, I knew you were a big Carol Kane fan. Everyone loves Princess Bride. Everyone loves the unstoppable Kimmy Schmidt. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that chick. Okay, it took me a second. Sorry. She was in Scrooge. Right. She was in Seinfeld.
She's in a lot, yes.
She's been in many
Carol
things.
Kane is wonderful.
Yes.
But she's not the main character. The main character is one Whoopi Goldberg, starring in a movie that, according to the poster, you might think is her guest starring on an episode of The Dinosaurs, but buddy, it's not. We're gonna watch a movie called Theodore Rex.
I'm excited. Yeah,
This
I remember
is-
the cover from the video
Yep.
store. That's as much as I ever saw.
This is it's billed as a buddy cop science fiction comedy film.
I'm so
And
into this.
It got, I believe, on Rotten Tomatoes, which we don't really care too much about because, we like what we like, but as a baseline, it has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. So,
That could
and
be, we could be in for a treat here, man.
I think we are. We'll talk a little bit more about the controversy next week because I don't want to get into it too much now, but we'll talk about what happened behind the scenes on this movie and maybe why it was such a complete piece of crap.
Oh, alrighty. I'm excited. Is this playing anywhere? Or playing anywhere? I mean, is it streaming anywhere or anything? Oh, it's on the Internet Archive, you said.
Yep, Internet Archive has
If
saved
anybody
it.
wants to listen along or watch along.
Yeah, I have no idea if this is for sale on any streaming sites. I would almost say undoubtedly not.
I'm calling us film preservationists for this one.
We are. We are saving this one because, Whoopi Goldberg apparently doesn't want us to see it, which means we have to see it, right?
Yep.
Like,
sorry.
It's history. I mean, it has Richard Roundtree, dude. It has Shaft. Shaft is in this movie.
This is gonna rule.
But I've got nothing else. I think this is gonna be a fun topic for us to hit. And like I said, we will go ahead and post our Patreon poll here later today. I guess
pick
by
our
the time
theme for next week, and I think we're gonna have, if you're a Patreon subscriber, we will have a bonus episode out with our top 5 things from the year 1996. That was our theme this month, and we will try and get a similar thing done every month for every theme. So there's a good reason to join up and get exclusive episodes that will not be available elsewhere, and find out what we actually like.
That's a good plug. Good job. Did you read that?
I did not.
Wow, you're a natural, buddy. You've come very far, and you know what? I just realized this.
For real? No shit.
Next week, not this week, but I believe next week will be our 1-year anniversary. It'll be episode number 52.
Oh my
So
god.
we will have been doing this for a whole damn year.
That's what happens when we get motivated by sandwiches.
Yeah, maybe we could talk a little bit about...
End up with a side job.
Yeah. Next week, we can maybe do a little bit of a topic on how this all came together and maybe a look back, which doesn't need to be any clips from anything because everything sucks and I don't want to listen to anything we've done. But, we'll talk a little bit about it. We appreciate everyone who has listened. And you know what? This was fun, Nick.
I enjoyed myself. Till then, everybody, love you lots, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
See ya.